You're listening to the Rich Girls Podcast, where we celebrate women who are glowing, inspiring, rising, leading, and succeeding. Join your hosts, Jasmine and Cecily, for weekly gems on business, relationships, motherhood, finances, and more. Let's get started.
Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Girls Podcast. This is episode 22. We are in season 3, and we have a very special guest with us today, Luciana, aka Miss Lucci. I will let you introduce yourself, but I'm so delighted to have you on the show today. I've been knowing you since we established we're friends now, basically. We're friends. But I'll let you talk about what you do and all that. So, tell us about you, Miss Lucci.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you so much for even just inviting me on. And I know when you put the post out, I was just super excited to be able to share. Because I know one thing for sure, two things for certain. I love what you guys do. You guys always make sure that you kind of touch base and feed people, and kind of help them be a better them. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yes, thank you.
Jasmine said, my name is Luciana Young. I'm originally from Ohio. I'm a little Army brat. I'm living here in Louisville for the past few years, and I'm a cosmetologist by training, for about 15 years now. And for the past 6 years, I kind of just leaned on into the skincare side of it. Just starting to see where that was like an area that I think for most of us, as far as like where we hadn't really dabbled in too much. And so interest in that, and just kind of help us, move over, in that space. So I'm a skincare specialist at the Lavish Beauty Bar, right off of Taylor Road. I provide skincare service like facials, all eyebrow services. And
I gotta go check out Miss Lucci at Lavish Beauty Bar. I love Lavish Beauty Bar. Like, it is full service spa, y'all. Like, it is so dope. And Miss Lucci does my waxes and stuff. She gets me together. Like, yes. So definitely go check her out at Lavish. And so cosmetology, does that cover like everything? Hair, makeup, skincare?
It does. I mean, it covers and nails. So so we're licensed to kind of just take care of all of you.
Right. Yes. Them self-care days be coming through. Like, yes, the facials, the massages, like, it's a whole experience. So make sure y'all go check them out at Lavish Beauty Bar and go see Miss Lucci. What else do you have going on? Because I know that you're active in the community and you're very involved with youth, and that is so needed in our community. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, I love the youth, and a lot of the services, or the mentorship that I do is geared towards youth girls. But for me, I just understand. I literally just take beauty and kind of just use it in a way to where it creates a dialogue. And where that come from is pretty much just being a young girl and understanding, as I gotten older, how we compromise in a lot of ways. And so we try to rearrange ourselves for society and all that good stuff. And so for me, my heart is to kind of create that dialogue around beauty and for us to really understand the beauty that we have within. And to kind of take that and, if we're going to use our beauty to leverage, we just find our way. I don't care if you're just in the classroom. When it comes to young girls, if they're in the classroom, they become the leaders in that classroom. If you're boardroom, become the leaders in the boardroom with great influence. And if people are choosing you to be in that room or in that space or in front of the class because you're cute,
right,
then leverage that in a positive way till you can affect some positive change, on that platform. So in the community,
it's like society can be a little bit shallow in that regard. Do you think that it's anything wrong with leveraging your beauty in order to like gain stuff in life? Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't. I think at the end of the day, we're already, to some degree, we're used that way. I don't care what
women in general.
I think just people.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to little kids, there's a different attraction or a different way that we respond to the beautiful people, and even to children. Some people are a little bit more receptive, even to the point to we'll let the little cute kids be bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
so I think it's just a mindset out there, and for me, it's more instead of because of the way that society is set up, and they use our beauty. We're literally, I think, instead you kind of just take that control back.
Right.
It's like you literally just kind of take that control back and say, okay, if this is what you see, there's so much more to me. But
right.
So for me, my programming is more about you understanding that there's so much more to you. And
right.
in those ways, use your beautiful mind. You know what I'm saying? All those, there's so much more. So for me, I just want to take beauty into where you can see it in different perspectives, embrace it. And to use it to let it empower you and to be able to be like I said, the leader in those particular spaces.
Right. Like, as you said, beautiful mind, beautiful heart. Like, those are the, like, traits about ourselves that we should shine the brightest light on. You know what I mean? Because looks fade, beauty fades. Like, it's really a facade, you gotta, like, connect with people's soul and that energy. I think that's what we have way more inside, way more to offer from within than anything else.
And what I understand is whatever is in you is what's going to come out. So
right.
Are feeding that on the inside. But anyway, girl, we can go further.
Right. So speaking of like these beauty standards, like it can be exhausting as a woman, especially as a Black woman. I feel like we are evolving in a sense to where we're understanding, like, look, we don't have to conform to these European beauty standards. Like, we can embrace the natural and the kinky and the nappy. It just seems like, especially, and this is specific to Black women, obviously, that we're almost taking our identity back. You know what I'm saying? Have you noticed that change in the beauty industry, especially as it pertains to Black women?
Well, yeah, especially for us embracing, like you said, our natural hair. Now, don't get me wrong. We're still kind of out of balance because some of us are rearranging our bodies, and not so much in a European sense, but just trying to, because we're still trying to do it.
Right, that's definitely not European. We're definitely, that's big booties, big whatever. Just it seems like that is, usually Black girls are gonna have a big body. Yes. So it's like, and when you're saying rearrange, because now they've got new methods to where you can actually just use your own fat, kind of like transfer it to another area of your body. And while I get every woman wants to be curvy and have that nice body, right? Body image is a big thing. But like, what's the root of it? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if is it the music industry or these rap women, or I'm just trying to, because it's such a trend now. Like, where do you think this trend is coming from?
Well, I think it's just building upon. Like, I think when we don't address initially what it is, like why we make certain choices, we don't address why we feel like we're inadequate. We don't address, that you are enough and all that, in those kind of ways. You don't have to look like you're unique. You good where you are. I think when we don't address it like that. So if you think about all these years, this has been a building upon. Now we just got more things that we're more aware of, because a lot of these services that we in the African American community that we're getting now has been offered and been used by our counterparts, our European counterparts already.
Mm-hmm.
Just now the exposure. And so before, and also it was, I don't know, I just think that it does come down to society, period. So now that everything's so in your face. Before, when we think about, when I listen back on music, like my mom now, we used to listen to R&B, it was more like they just loved us for they was embracing us and like, girl, let me do this. And now it's like, you gotta have this and you gotta be this, And so, and then we do have other artists that kind of share themselves. At the end of the day, I feel like if you're comfortable in your space, and that's fine. For me, getting to the why do you want to rearrange yourself? Right.
And just making sure that that's authentic in itself, like making sure that that's true to self. Because I mean, all of us struggle with our flaws and things that we don't like about ourselves, you know. And I don't think, you know, it's nothing wrong with getting those cosmetic enhancements, but so I just feel like not all the time it really addresses that whatever it was that you were trying to fix.
No,
you know,
I agree.
you know, so I just think that that's just something to be mindful of. And beauty is pain. Like, women go through so much just for these beauty standards. It's like, you know what? I don't throw on makeup and stuff for the podcast show. I'm looking at myself right now. It's like, it don't even make a difference whether I wear makeup or not. Who cares? I mean, and I like, no, for real though, like when you, like, you know, put on makeup or whatever, when you look good, you really do feel good. So it is important to groom yourself and make sure that you feel good, look good, all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. But again, it's just silly sometimes, the measures that we take, like, you know, the high heels, feet be killing us and sucking our stomachs in, all of it.
It is.
The things we go through.
I appreciate being a woman.
Well, yes.
Work.
It is work. It is work. But it's like, yeah, it is what it is. There's so much that comes with us, and we just gotta embrace it. But do you think that do you think that we're too hard on ourselves?
I do. I think that, you know, we need to start creating a space to where you can just be. Like, you know, I'm a mom of two, and I just literally just kind of started all over. I'm in my mid 40s, and I got a little baby. And like before, it was like I was like, you know, I always had this together, and always, you know, I can't slide in the clothes like I used to, and all. It really starts, you know, messing with my mental. I do at times feel like we are hard on ourselves because we feel like we have to be
standards.
Yeah, and always be on and all that. Like when I look at social media, I'm not, honey. You see me. I mean, I might be all right now because I knew I had to be on the podcast. But when it's like I'm tired. I serve all day, you know.
Right.
I believe that we are too hard on ourselves. If when we get to a space to where we're okay with us, then, you know, we'll start pulling that back because and have some real self-care.
Right. Like, show yourself some grace. Like, women, I don't know. I don't know. I've just heard too many comments from women before, just as we're getting dressed or as we're taking selfies. Like, oh my God, this isn't perfect enough. Or, oh my God, like my hair, like my makeup is messed up right here. Like, chill, you're beautiful. Like, you don't have to do, you know, all this extra stuff. Like, you're beautiful just the way you are. So that's my message for the viewers. You are beautiful just the way you are. Thank you for those who are tuning in. If you have any comments, questions for Miss Lucci, drop them below. My co-host Cecily may or may not be popping on here in the next few minutes, but we'll just keep this thing going. So Miss Lucci, when it comes to beautification, and we kind of already tapped on this a little bit, like, it can be a mirror or a mask, right? And I feel like do you want to speak to that a little bit? Like, how are we either, you know, how does beauty either, like how you were saying earlier, it's like a reflection of what's going on within you, or like maybe.
Yeah, I almost feel like that they are in partnership, the mirror and the mask. And I say that because a lot of times when we look in the mirror, we don't really go deep. We don't really see ourselves. We see what we don't like. We see, you know, so we start masking. We start covering it up. And just even with just makeup or trying to, you know, whatever, you know, it is, throwing lashes on and getting our brows together. It's not just that. It's that we start masking if we're okay.
Right.
But sometimes you look in the mirror, you know, like, I'm worn out, or, you know, I'm sad or whatever. And it's like you get yourself together and just act like you're okay. So I think when it comes to beautification, it's a really deep, you got to really go deep with that.
You got to go deep.
So that,
deep.
And but you have to be ready. You have to be ready to look at that woman in the mirror.
Yeah. That's awareness and just getting to know yourself, and really loving who you see in the mirror. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like, again, I can't help but to speak to Black women, because there's like so much that we carry and so much of a, yeah, we do have to, it is a mask, like always, because like we gotta smile so people don't think we're too angry or just whatever, to where it's like always just like, I got it, everything's fine, everything's straight. And it's like, when do we take that mask off? When do we show our true selves and that vulnerability,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so there with you.
I think there's beauty in femininity too, and when we're able to like let those guards down and just like really bask in that energy, like that's a whole other level of beauty. You know what I'm saying?
It really is, but just being able to have a safe space to do it in.
Right.
And so that's something we really need to create for one another, is to be able to get that place where we can just kind of just get ugly, or just kind of free, be naked, and
Yes.
so that way that, it really just empowers us. So that way we can go and get back on, put our cape on and take on the world, but
right, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. This can get into a very deep discussion, but we'll go to a quick commercial break really quick. Sit tight with this, viewers. We'll be right back to continue the conversation, and we're going to get into the Monet experience and what all you have planned for this future initiative, and I'm so excited to learn more. So stay tuned. We'll be right back, guys. All right, that was short and sweet. Welcome back to the Rich Girls Podcast. This is episode 22, and we've got Miss Lucci today as our special guest. And she is a cosmetologist. She's a youth advocate, a community activist, and so much more. The title of the show, of course, is the Monet Experience. So let's tap into that. I know that when I come to visit UNC, we always talking it up about our projects that we have going on in business. And I know that you've been working on this pretty diligently as your way of giving back. So tell us more about the Monet experience.
Yes. So this is a real passion project for me. The Monet experience come from a personal experience. So this is real heartfelt. I found myself in a real difficult situation where there was nobody could really help me out of it. And I was a single mother at the time, and it separated me from my daughter. At the time, she was 10, going on 11. And during the process, while I was just kind of waiting to see what the outcome was going to be, my daughter, said to me, "Mom, how could you make the decision that you made knowing that you were all I had?" And it really hit hard. I think it was more like an awakening at that point, because I know, anybody who knew me knew that she was everything. Like, I went hard, whatever, the moves that I made, the things that I done, it was just wanted to make sure that everything was good for her. But in that particular decision, I didn't think about it leaving her to a place to where she feel like, that she's been abandoned, and so it made me get to a place to where I had to kind of wake up. How did I get into that state? How did I find myself in that place? And so in doing that, the Monet experience just kind of began. And I call it that because it was because of her. My daughter's name is Essence. And
I love that. Okay.
And so for her, I say that because it was because of her that I had to go through this process of finding out how to, to really locate myself. It was literally a whole awakening that had to happen. And that was what kind of snapped me out of my sleep, because I was making decisions, but I wasn't conscious. And so, and therefore it landed me in some places where I just didn't, it was really compromising. And so with that being said, during that time, I knew that I could not find myself back in that place again. So that I had to go through this whole spiritual GPS,
Right.
So on a spiritual tip, I really had to kind of connect with God and say, okay, show me me. And so the Monet experience, like I said, began there to where I started doing more of a mirror reflection. I had to do some journaling so I can write some stuff down, because what I realized is that a lot of things were compressed. I had suppressed, and I was depressed behind it.
Right.
And I started seeing that when it started as a young girl, that I started compromising who I was, all beginning with just my name. You said it's Luciana, Miss Lucci. And it took me, I used to my name when I was a young girl. My mom, no, they just have to learn how to pronounce it.
Right.
And from a young girl, I was compromised, and I was willing to kind of dumb down or reduce myself for others. Not that they even asked me to, but it was me just trying to. I just wanted to be loved by everybody. I was also a girl. My biological father just didn't show up for her. And so, I had love. I had my parents that really took care of me. But so what I'm saying is, going through this whole experience, I had to go and start saying, who am I? And had to get down to the beginning. We had to go back to the beginning. And God started showing me a lot of things that were not always pretty. And there was some painful areas, some things I had to accept, even because of the things that I was doing, and or decisions that I had made that weren't the best, because I never would have considered myself being selfish and all that kind of stuff. But just going through this process, I had to learn me, and then I started embracing who I am, and then I started understanding what gifting that I had, and then God started telling me that I use beauty to be an example. The very steps that I went through this experience, this Monet experience for me, kind of just getting to know who I am and the root of why I was making certain decisions that were unhealthy and all that. How I found myself in that position, and then start helping me how to come out of it.
Right.
Okay with who I am, and understanding that even though when I started changing and discovering me, when I had to reintroduce myself, not only did I have to get to know me again, get to know who the real me was, but everybody who had known me in the past.
Yes, you better say it. You better say it.
I reintroduced myself, that I had to be prepared for how they were going to respond, and and no matter what their reaction was, that I and don't stay rooted and grounded in who I am today, who I was purposed to be.
Right.
And I knew that coming out of my situation, that people were going to judge me. There were going to be barriers there. So with that being said, at the end of the day, again, it was all about my past, or who people thought I was. I didn't even, and so I had to literally, so just going through this process, God said, you're going to go back into the space that you were in. I was a cosmetologist before, I found myself in that bad place. And he said, you're going to use beauty to be able to touch other young women, to help them being young, because like I said, the compromising started when I was young.
Early.
Today we're compromising. They're doing everything. They got the YouTube and everything going on, the TikToks and all that, to showing them what beauty is supposed to be. So they're compromising. They're showing their bodies off. There's no discretion with our youth today. Wide open. And what I feel like my purpose was, and this, like I said, this whole experience is to say, you need to speak with them. You in the industry to where they understand, they know, create this dialogue and start helping them understand the value that they possess and the beauty. And let them start being conscious. Let them start with self-awareness. Then they can be aware of everything around them, to where any decisions that they make, they are conscious about it. That knowing that if I don't feel okay about it, I don't have to do it. And I don't care what nobody else thinks about it.
Right.
You don't conform. And so anyway, so that's where the Monet experience has been birthed out of. Since I've, kind of just been volunteering and mentoring, it literally, it's been showing me that it's much needed. There's so many programs out here. Everybody in nonprofit is like, it's like we need to collaborate in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
because we're
like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are plenty of nonprofits here, but it seems like most of them are youth oriented, as opposed to like on the adult oriented, as far as helping the adult crowd or whatever. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. But I do agree that our youth are definitely in the most need right now. The violence in our city and just the misguidance, and even for the young girls, like a lot of times people don't want to listen to their parents, just point blank. We try to be good parents and we do the best to raise our kids and teach them well, but sometimes they want to hear someone else's opinion or advice to some other adult who they look up to, and so it's so important to have pillars like you in the community that's just standing up for these kids.
Thanks. I just know, yeah. I mean, and just to kind of just say what you said, and just to affirm that the kids do, it's something about your children. Just you can say the same thing. Somebody else will say something, and you've been telling all their life, or and then someone else will say the same exact thing, and it's like the light bulb comes on.
Mm-hmm.
I am grateful for, like how you said, that there are people out there that can speak life into our kids.
Yes.
Out of us, and where we know that but we have to create that village. So I am grateful to know that there's a lot of programs out here as well that again, I just instead of me saying that doing a nonprofit, I'd just much rather work with them or work
with them, show up there and just be there as a source. And you spoke to the compromise, and it's so sad because even for my own self, you said for you it was your name. For me, it was like my hair. I wanted my hair to be straight when I was in elementary school. I wanted it to be straight and long like the European girls or whatever. I didn't like the curly. So it's just like that. We get conditioned and brainwashed at such an early age to not love ourselves. It's just like subliminally, it's subconscious in our media programming and everything, to where we have to be very intentional about, teaching our young Black girl, because it's hard. Like how you said, you had that spiritual breakthrough. And when I do bring other rich girls on this show, everybody has a different story, but there's also this similar story to where they pretty much hit a rock bottom, and their only option was to reconnect and strengthen their relationship with God in order to figure out their way, and basically using God as a GPS to get themselves out of whatever they were going through. And then it's like they just blossom after that when you just stay true to the source. So yeah, I just kind of went off on a tangent with that, because it's just like God is you got to keep God in the center of everything that you do, period. Absolutely. If you want to change your life, if you want different outcomes, you have to get closer to God.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And even when it goes to like figuring yourself out and getting to the roots, like how you said, like, and same with me, like on my journey, I'm just like, well, how did I even get to be like this? In a lot of ways, I did not demonstrate self-love, self last. In a lot of ways, it's like, what caused me, like, how have I learned these, learn them? Because right. This is not aligned with who I am truly. Yeah. This is the side with the lies and the BS, like what I'm, you know what I mean? How I'm supposed to show up, but like only God, it's between God. God will let me know what I'm supposed to do.
Right. Yeah. But in process, honey, it is a process, because
it's an ugly process.
It is. It's rough. It's hard. When I tell you I went through the journey and I just started going back, man, I realized there was some dark years that I really, even still today, I haven't yet addressed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a continuous process.
Continuous healing process. And journaling definitely helps with that.
Yeah.
I think that also helps us like, reconnect with our feminine energy too. Just being able to express ourselves, because we just carry so much. Oh. And like you think that, this is journaling. That's not good. That's not a life-changing task. Like, but that is so therapeutic. It really does so much. And when I go back and look at my journal from 2019, honey.
That's it.
When I go back and look at that 2019 journal and then compare that to the 2021 Jasmine, it's crazy. So journal so that you can document your growth and, remember when you were at your low moment, because sometimes you can just kind of, I know this is how I cope anyway. Sometimes I'll just compartmentalize it like, okay, this traumatic experience happened. I'm just going to sweep it under the rug because I got 3 kids. I got to move on with my life, but sometimes it's necessary to remember those low points, to really appreciate where you're at now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hit something there when you said, I just kind of sweep it on the rug because I got 3 kids and I got to do this and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's kind of like, that's another part of we're used to doing it that way. But I think for me, that was another part of how I got to where I got to, because like in my household, we didn't really address a whole lot, or we weren't like, I wasn't allowed to express certain things. It was all about, let me just make sure that everybody else is okay. Or if I say that I was hurt, then it may have been like, oh, it's kind of like an offense to my motherhood or her, my mom's, but it was, so some things was like, or I was always a kid that would ask why. And it was like I was being defiant. And so everything would start me. I'm just going to, whatever, however, what you want, what you need me to do. And it found me in some spaces. And then I started doing those same things to my daughter. And it wasn't until she started saying, well, do you like it? Do you want, is it okay? To where I had to like, oh, wait a minute. I got to pull that back. So yeah, we do tend to do that. Like, I know for me, that was one of the things that I had learned along the journey is like, if we don't uproot some of the stuff, life in other places that need to really grow, or it really can affect, those roots can affect other areas. And so
it can be passed down through generations. Like, we've got to break the cycle, and you have to have that level of self-awareness to say, this ain't working. You know what I'm saying? This ain't working for me. This ain't working for my kids. Like, I've got to change it, So I feel like we are definitely in an era, or, like there's just so much going on within the community, but it's so much beautiful things happening, so much growth, so much of this taking our power back, and I just really love to see it. And again, I just think that it's very, like, we owe it to ourselves, but then we also owe it to our kids. So yeah.
So go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
My goal with the Monet experience, because there's so much that we can't really cover, but with the Monet experience is to really kind of reach out. And Monet experience is not only for youth. That's just where I began in the Louisville area, in this community. But it's not only for the youth, because I was a woman who went through it. I was a
grown woman.
Yeah. And so with that being said, there's a lot that's going to come out of it, or that I hope to come out of it, especially for our women as well, because we have to get healed, delivered, and set free.
Yes.
So we can impart that on to our children.
Yes.
I hope to come out as like, a lot of women really stepping into their rightful place in our communities.
Yes.
Because if I just go to a little biblical, the Titus 2 women are older women who has wisdom and all that kind of stuff, is supposed to speak life into us. And I find that to be something that we're missing today. So a lot of us need to get to that space to where we can really be those elders, those strong women in a community like it to be, or it was intended to be, so that we can start speaking life into our young girls. So just kind of start looking forward to like retreats and stuff like that. Experience is one where we're going to kind of just really tap into the depths of the beauty that's within of us, and that way that we can start, spilling that over into our households, our communities, the nation, and even we are the true influencers.
Yes, most of what you said, that's a powerful way to end the show. You know what I'm saying? We are the true influencers, period. I love that. Are there any other comments that you have? You guys, you can contact Miss Lucci. You can email her for booking, or call up at the Lavish Beauty Bar and book with her, or you can email her at the emonetexperience@gmail.com. It's scrolling at the bottom of the live feed, so you can contact her that way. But again, thank you for coming on the show. I guess Cecily didn't make it. She'll be on the next episode. Next week we are having our Battle of the Sexes episode, much anticipated. I'm super excited about that because once again, women have a lot to work on within our own space, but then it's like, we also feel like on the podcast it's important to open up that dialogue about like the reconnection of Black men and Black women. Like, what's going on between us? Because, we just got to get this foundation strong. We got to just resubmit the foundation,
Ooh, honey, I'm definitely going to be tapped.
It's going to be interesting. We got two of the most controversial, shit talking ass guys that's gonna be on here, so it should be a really, really good one. You gonna have to say. But no, thank you so much again, Ms. Lucci, for coming on the show. I'm sure that we will be sharing space, working together, collaborating, pouring into the youth, because I'm very much aligned with your mission and love everything that you're doing to uplift women and kids. It's truly a blessing. So we just wanted to celebrate you, and thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and I just pray great prosperity and that your territory be enlarged here with Rich Girls.
Yes.
Working with you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And plus, I think I got an appointment tomorrow, so I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next time. Love y'all.
You're listening to the Rich Girls Podcast, where we celebrate women who are glowing, inspiring, rising, leading, and succeeding. Join your hosts, Jasmine and Cecily, for weekly gems on business, relationships, motherhood, finances, and more.